Hello America, my name is William Garlington and welcome to conservativesviewpoint.com. Today is December the 21st, 2010. Almost the end of the year, almost Christmas. So from me to you and my family to your family, we want to wish all America a very Merry Christmas and a very happy and safe New Year. Like I said, we welcome moderates, liberals, and conservatives to our site. Our site is conservativesviewpoint.com, where our mission for the next 2 years is going to help educate, help inform as many Americans on the expansion and the protection of conservative values within America, while we try to educate those in eliminating and destroying liberalism. Because here at The Point, we feel liberalism over the last 75 plus years has made America a weaker country, has made America soft when it comes to foreign and domestic policies. So this week and next week, we are going to be talking about the top 10 domestic issues that this site feels that is very important. Yesterday, we focused on taxation and the fair tax and Neil Bortz and John Linder, who were spearheading that solution in eliminating the Internal Revenue Service. Today, we're going to talk about number 2, which is education. But first, when we talk about liberalism, you've got to talk about the Democratic Party. If you bump into a liberal, you have to probably associate yourself that they're probably in the Democratic Party. And if they're not liberal, and then they are in the Democratic Party, which is about 5%, we feel that they are uneducated, they are ill-informed, and they don't know why they're in this party. That's where we have to come in and educate those folks to the conservative way. Because when you think about those two things, you've got to think about Barack Obama, the president, who feels that America should bow down to leaders. America has done his people wrong, so he's trying to get America back. This man is so liberal that he wants to change the Christian values that America once was to like a Muslim state. And he's got clowns like Nancy Pelosi, who's the current Speaker of the House, and come January of next year, she's going to be clipped. Okay? We've got Harry Reid, the Senate Majority Leader, who barely squeaked by. And we feel in 2 more years, we're going to take the Senate and we're going to oust this cat. Okay? And then we've got Bill Clinton, former president, and his wife Hillary, where my sources say this lady is going to make a run in 2012 versus Barack Obama, just like Ted Kennedy went up against Jimmy Carter in the 1980 presidential election. So look out for her, and not be fooled that these two people, they are not moderate, they are liberal, because they want to keep the entitlement programs going to the have-nots. The have-nots who are lazy. The have-nots who want something for nothing. The handouts that keep those have-nots down and keeps the haves, like the Clintons, the Obamas, the Reids, the Pelosis, they keep those cats in power. And if you keep those cats in power, because they've already got the dough, they've already got the chick or the dude, now they want to continue with the power, and they want to strangle you and I, the have-nots, and keep us in bondage. Keep those chains around our necks and keep us in slavery. And here at The Point, we're not going to take that anymore. So, if you come across a liberal and they're closed-minded, piss on that liberal. We don't care. If that person is not a liberal and is in the Democratic Party, educate that person. Bring them to this site. Let them listen to a Beck, a Limbaugh, an O'Reilly, a Hannity, and a Garlington. Okay? Because there's 3 things that really tee me off. I'm prejudiced against 3 things. Until I think of a 4th and a 5th, just 3. Number 1, anybody that thinks that they know it all or they don't want to learn anymore. And that is typically a liberal. They don't want to learn anymore. They want to shut down. All right, that tees me off. I'm prejudiced against those types of individuals. Number two, lazy people. If you've got two good hands and two good legs, and you could break your back and maybe work for $15 an hour, but in the day you were making $30 an hour, and you want to just sit on your ass and get a handout because you're entitled to that, I call you a lazy person, and you're not solving the problem, you're adding to the problem. Get a hold of yourself, take care of your family, get off the unemployment lines, and get back to work. And then everything will take care of itself, especially if you're, taking unemployment and you're conservative. Shame, shame on you. And number three, I don't like people who control other people. I'm not talking about the CEO or the agency or the workplace that may have rules on how to dress, on how to act professional. I'm talking about those people that are not in the workplace that are trying to control you and I, like the federal government, like national health care, or you'll be fined, or Social Security, or raising my taxes, and I have no say so. Those people, I don't really like controlling me. So those are the three pet peeves that I have against. Okay, today we're going to talk about education. Oh yeah, education, education, education. And first of all, here's our logo, conservativesviewpoint.com. Check us out. And at conservativesviewpoint.com, we believe in conservative values and conservatism. We do not support a political party. We do not support a political candidate. So we're not going to sit here and say we will support the Republican Party. Eventually, we want the Republican Party to drop the Republican Party and become the Conservative Party. Because people like Charlie Crist, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Olympia Snow, and some other cats that slither into the Republican Party, they won't be, or it's going to be a little harder to do when it comes to being a conservative party. Okay? Because conservatism is like the escalator that's going up. We want more freedom. We want better pay. We want religious buildings, and God, and so forth and so on. This is what conservatism is all about. So let's talk about the educational problem that we have in this country. First of all, the 9th Secretary of Education of the United States is a man called Arne Duncan, A-R-N-E, born in 1964, November the 6th. He was appointed by, yep, you guessed it, President Obama. He's from Chicago. Before that, Mayor Richard Daley appointed this cat. All right. The United States Department of Education has a budget back in 2007 of $972 billion with a B dollars, and that went to public and private school levels. Okay, I don't know where $972 billion goes, but if you were spending that kind of money, you would think that we would be ahead in math and science as opposed to middle of the road. Because right now, the Japanese and some other countries are just kicking our ever-loving asses when it comes to the education department. Okay? And I believe it's on the doles of the federal government. They just jack it up, taxing us and paying federal government workers. It would be nice, and here at the point, we believe that the Department of Education within the next maybe 5 to 10 years should be dadgum eliminated altogether. In other words, the state and the local municipalities should take on the schools, and we should privatize these departments. In other words, if you've got a teacher that is really doing his or her job, he or she should be rewarded based upon good standards of teaching, not because you've got tenure like it is now. And also, the government, in its infinite wisdom, decided back in the 1954, Brown versus the Board of Education, and then subsequently back in the late 60s, 70s, and 80s, decided to desegregate by busing. I have no problem of going to school with folks that are brown, yellow, black, purple, orange. I don't care. I really don't give a crap. But I do have a problem when a person, a black person, a white person, a brown person, a yellow person, is 2 or 3 miles away from their school, but they've got to be shipped 25 miles just to get a quota system. How about taking some of that $972 billion, giving it to the states, letting them privatize a little bit. In other words, having all the school systems have the same computers, the same materials, blah, 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 and then that local municipality or that state, we give the dollars to our school systems. So if I'm raising my 10-year-old, I'm going to give, or better yet, if I elect to take my kid to a private institution, I shouldn't have to pay taxes on that, which is the school voucher system. Okay, I kind of don't like the school voucher. I'd rather just the public school system just disappear and make it privatized, because the federal government has done nothing when it comes to balancing a budget, running a business, etc. Okay, real quick, you go to my website, conservativesviewpoint.com, the web store. We've got a couple of books. Our United States Presidents, The Great Divide. These are books that I've written, and some monies go to charities, and the 3 charities are located at the website. We've also got Battle 2010, Liberals versus Conservatives. We've got 54 conservatives, 54 liberals, men, women, from the Ace of Spades, 2 of Clubs, 2 Jokers, biographical information. We've got George Soros, Oprah Winfrey, Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, down to Rush Limbaugh, Glenn Beck, Charlie Crist, Marco Rubio, and $7.95 for the singleton, $12.95 for the set. Again, monies go to charity on top of this. But we want to raise $250,000 by next November, and we feel that we can do it. But if you arm yourself with both decks, you know if you're a conservative who you want to support, but if you are a conservative, you know who to boycott. You know who to attack as far as the vote. Because coming in March of 2011, we're going to come out with Battle 2012. Because there's going to be new faces, new rankings, and new information. We're out of time. And tomorrow is Wednesday, and we're going to be coming at you, again, for the next 2 weeks, the top 10 domestic issues The Point feels that it's important. Until then, America, hug your child, kiss your brother, your sister, go pull a liberal out of the woodwork somewhere, bring them to this side, but educate those folks, because right now, if they're a have-not, they are enslaved. Good night, America. See you tomorrow.